Okay, in these last few minutes before Yom Tov, I wanted to do one or two little pieces that puts us in the right mindset of what we're supposed to accomplish on the Yom Tov, although you all know a lot already, but you're seekers of more Torah, so at least these last few minutes, as much as we would have liked to be together in Shul pretty soon at this time and to say a Dvar Torah between Mincha and Erev, we're trying the best we can before Mincha. Just keep in mind that 8:31 is candle lighting, and that still gives you 18 minutes till the sun sets. So just to keep the timing, I'll be done before 8:31, and then you'll go into your either daven Mincha or whatever you're going to do. The question is,
Rabbi, we don't have to take on Yom Tov till 18 minutes after 8:31. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, women should light candle and take it in at 8:31. But if you don't want to light candles, you could. Whatever.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
We have the lights on, the candle on.
Yeah, okay. So if you just mute everybody else, please, and we'll see if we can get as much as we can get done. So the Sefer HaChinuch, he asks, why did Hashem give us the Jewish holidays? And he says, Mishrashe HaMitzvah, the root of the mitzvah, is L'fisha Adam Nachan Al Inyan Shetzarech Diva L'Samech Leprakim. Because a person was built by Hashem in a manner that he needs to rejoice at times. That's what you need. Kemo Shehu Tzarech El Hamazon Al Kolpanim. Just like a person needs sustenance all the time. Val HaMenucha, person has to rest. Val HaShena, and sleep. And just like those are natural, physical, mental, emotional needs, we have an emotional need to be joyful. And I'm sure now is as great a time as ever as we need to be joyful. For us, when Hashem wants to give us merit, we're his people and the sheep that he shepherds. So he commands us to make a time of rejoicing in his name, so that we'll get merit before him in everything we do. So he makes it a mitzvah even. A mitzvah to be happy. And Hashem has established various times in the holiday as Moadim. Why? To remember the miracles and the good things that he has bestowed upon us. So therefore on those times, we're commanded to sustain our physical bodies with something that will give us joy that we need. And everyone according to their level. The Gemara says men need meat and wine, women need nice clothing and jewelry, and children like trinkets and candies. The Imsalana Trufa Gedola, and this will be a great medicine for us. That we will be satiated with joy in his name and his memory. And now he emphasized this thought that we're having, get there. This will be a fence for us. That we don't go off the straight path too much. We could be depressed, we could have challenges. As Mesilas Yesharim talks about, being osek in this world can take us very far away. So therefore, Hashem wants us to keep us on the right path. And anyone who has reflection without a desire to argue will find reason in my words. So the Sefer Chinuch says Hashem created Yom Tov, no different than the basic need that we have to eat, that we have to sleep. We have to be happy. And just like, really, it's a mitzvah to eat. You can't starve yourself. It's a mitzvah to take care of yourself. It's a mitzvah to be happy. You need certain times to have highlights of happiness in your life so that you will be able to not fall off the straight path. So Judaism really believes a lot in simcha. This was part of a bigger class. I skipped this part, a bigger class of the 5 holidays take care of our grievances against Hashem, if you remember from a few weeks ago. But now I want to amplify this with a beautiful piece from Rabbi Nachman that I did not have time before, and obviously Hashem wanted me to say it now. And you've got the Hebrew and the English. The first part over here is a little bit, the letters are blotted out, but everything else works out fine. And Rabbi Nachman tells us the deepest of the deep. It gives us much more depth to what the Sefer HaChinuch has mentioned for us. And he's in the middle of a large discussion. And he talks about fear of Hashem. And that's a topic we've talked a lot. We're learning with the Nesiva Shalom of really understanding the reality of life, not being afraid that Hashem's going to kill you, but we're speaking about the yira that brings us to even greater love of Hashem. V'ikar ha'yira, and what is the main part of yira? When we talk about yira, what's the main goal of yira? How does it come out? Nasa adei hiskalus haratzon. It's when God's will is revealed. When God's will is revealed and we understand God's will, that puts us in a state of yira, which is a very good state to be in. As the pasuk says, Ritzon yireyav ya'aseh. He does the will of those who fear him. Shal yedei hiskalus haratzon. By God's will being revealed, nasa yira, that produces a state of yira. Which means Hainu al Yadesh Niskala Shakol Misanik Birtsoni Yisbarach. That's through the revelation that everything that runs itself in its world is done with God's will. That Hashem created the world the way He wanted to, and there was no other compelling factors for that. He had no obligation. Everything is done by Hashem's will. And He gives life and sustenance to everything because He wants it that way. There's no natural determinism that is making it happen. It's not just biology that's forcing things to happen. It's only the Ratzon Hashem. As much as He has concealed, and it looks like it's just biology and chemistry and all these things, and those are immutable laws of nature that have created the world. It's nonsense. It's the Ratzon Hashem, and it's the only thing that keeps the world going. Ki al yedei, and through that, nasa yira, that develops yira, meaning we're seeing life as it's real. It's not just a world of an accident, and there's no consequences. No, Hashem created it with a purpose, and we have to see this. And then then there's a concept of reward and punishment. And then it's possible, and then it's possible to have some fear to Hashem, because there's a God with whom to fear. There's a God with whom, again, I'm not going fear of punishment, but fear of glorifying Him properly and relating with Him properly. As our rabbi said about Yaakov, that he was always afraid, maybe Shema Yigur Machet, maybe he would do a sin that would hurt the relationship. That's what the holidays bring, a sense of yira. Yira means a total awareness of the real reality, how life was meant to exist. Now you're going to see, how does that bring us to simcha? But if God's will is not revealed, and we think there is a self-determinism through the nature of the world, God forbid, and that everything is just going according to the natural ways of planet Earth, God forbid, ain't shaykh yira klal. It's not possible for any yira. People who are atheists, agnostics, they can't have any yira. There's no concept of reward and punishment. There is no purpose to life. There is no creator, God forbid. Because they feel it only goes according to nature, God forbid. Comes out the primary source of yira is al yedei hiskalus haratzon, is when God's will is revealed. Now we come to the holidays. Hiskalus haratzon. So how is God's will revealed on a regular basis? Well, they yomim tovim. It comes from the holidays. Kikol echad ma yomim tovim, because each and every holiday, machriz v'koreya, announces and proclaims umegales haratzon, and it reveals God's will. Shakol misnaig rak al pi ratzon bavad, that everything is conducted only by his will. And this explains what we had in Parshas Emor, the concept that a Yom Tov in the biblical parlance is called what? Mikra Kodesh, which in the English, I don't know, it says a holy convocation. I'm not exactly sure what the word convocation means, but it really means in simple, a holy announcement, a holy calling out. That's what they're going to say in the Kiddush. Mikra e Kodesh. The holiness is screaming out and being proclaimed. That's what he says in the bowl. Shayom Tov Kodesh. Koreu Machris Etzaratzon. What is the holiday calling out? The will of Hashem. That we become in touch with Hashem's will. Why? How is that? Because on each and every holiday, the root of the holiday, when it happened, God did osos noros, awesome signs. Shem hefach hateva, which is the opposite of nature. Shal yedezem iskala haratza, when God did these miracles, his will was revealed. Shakol birtzano, and that showed that everything in the entire history of the world is according to his desires. Ve'ein shum chiyuv hateva klal. And there's no determinism through nature at all. And now he explains the first one. Pesach recalls the Exodus from Egypt, that the awesome miracles that Hashem made, he made them then. It's a fact. Every Seder night, every year, we tell our children and we remind ourselves that only Hashem could have done these things. And as the Ramban al Torah Parshas Bo says, that the way we can remember that God does miracles in just natural life is from noticing the huge miracles here. So when we remember Pesach, there's no doubt in our mind that it screams out that God's in control. God makes nature happen. And water can be blood. And everything can change as Hashem wants it, to show there's a powerful creator in the world. And Hashem took us out through miraculous signs. Shavuos recalls the giving of the Torah, where Hashem spoke to 2 million people, where Hashem had them hear to hear the lightning and see the thunder, to see that which was heard, to hear which was seen, to be able to see things in a prophetic reality, which Lutzado explains is where Hashem shows you the inner workings of the world as you're looking at the world. So that was a great miracle. And that's what we have to remember tonight, tomorrow, and Shabbos. And finally, Sukkot. The Hekef Anani Akavah, the clouds of glory that surrounded us for 40 years, totally not according to nature, with water and manna coming from the sky. Al came. Therefore, call Yom Tov Machris v'Koreas Haratzon b'Bechinas b'Kedosh. Every Yom Tov screaming out and announcing that this is a special occasion, that there's a God who wreaks havoc with the world and brings the greatest results from that. Therefore, they're called a regel, which we'll explain in another piece what it means. They're called sholosh regalim. Why are they called sholosh regalim? You'll see in a minute. Because really, regel means a foot, right? So what does that mean? He'll explain. But regel is bechinas year. It's an aspect of fear. Through Yom Tov that reveals God's will, that's how we come to have yira. Now, later on, I just inserted it here. He explains how the word is, the mystical understanding word rag love. Rag love is the same as the word sibos, like causes. So regel, the verb regel can mean a cause, as you see by that Yaakov said to Lavan, clear. When he was showing that, I should get money for what I'm doing, he says, Vayivarech Hashem oscha liragli. Hashem blessed you liragli. What does that mean? To my foot? But here liragli means because of me. B'sibosai, I'm the reason. Just like a regel moves you forward and shows there's purpose for moving forward. It doesn't happen by itself. The feet move everything. So regel can mean the purpose of something. And that's what he told him over there. That Hashem, he says, Hashem is zape v'alava bracha al yedei b'siva, so that Hashem brought about the blessings to Yaakov through him and because of him. So it comes out, Nimsa Sharegel hu b'sik v'china sibos. The word foot alludes to causes. But instead of saying that I was the cause, says Yaakov, because Yaakov could have said, I came to you love and you were poor as a pauper. And he could have said, you see, since I came, because of me, you became rich. But Rak Yaakov, Tola Kol HaSibos B'Hashem Yisbarach, he acknowledged and attributed that Hashem really was the cause. Vayivorech Hashem oschal ragli. There's so much more I can't get in. It's going to get us off topic. But that was really the fight between Goliath and David. But that's another story. But I just wanted to prove that the word regel means the cause. That's the point. And we say shalosh regolim. That means there's 3 holidays that call out, that shows that God is the primary cause of everything. That's the point. So now we come to the challenge, everybody. Achlo tamid shamim es kol hakriya shel Yom Tov, but we don't always hear the clarion call of the Yom Tov. Shemagalas haratzon anal, that reveals this will of Hashem. So how do you know if you've heard the call, Rabbi Isai? This is the test to know if you have fulfilled the mitzvah completely. I know we're not going to work, and I know we're going to do what you're supposed to do. We're going to learn tonight and make kiddush and all that things. But did you achieve the goal that the Sefer Chinuch said, why Hashem gave us the holiday? That we should have. So how do you know that we heard the message of the miracles? He says, "V'zenikar b'simchas Yom Tov." You could tell if the person is enjoying the holiday. If you're having simcha, are you happy? Why? Because each person to the level that he can feel. V'shomea as kol hakriya shel Yom Tov, and to hear the voice of the calling of Yom Tov. Shemachris v'koreas haratzon, that announces and calls out Hashem's will to that degree that you hear on Shavuos, you're hearing the voice of Sinai, the message of the mountain shaking, Hashem calling out the will of Hashem, the total connection that literally took our lives and breaths away, that God is clearly in the world and married us. And to the degree and that voice is shouting as we make Kiddush tonight for the next 48 hours, the voice is shouting to the degree that you hear the message. That's how much you're going to enjoy the Yom Tov. That yira is the lead into the simcha. Why? Because when the will of Hashem becomes revealed and we internalize it, that what? Shakolbert, Sunday Spark, that everything is by Hashem's will. As Ayonim, then we know. And this, Rabbi Nachman's writing this in the early, 1800s. Jews suffered a lot in Eastern Europe. But we know, and as Shavuos comes in the middle of, sadness and depression, and there was a pogrom here, and the Jews, you have no idea. We know the stories, how much they suffered. But at least we know, Shekola Shibudim V'Algolas V'Holach Shalakum. All the servitude, the adversities, the sufferings that the non-Jews give us. Shemachbidim Aleinu, that's so heavy upon us. Al Kulam Yinkom B'Hem Yisparach V'Yigaleinim Yisarim. Yadam Hashem will take revenge and redeem us from their hands. This is, everything goes with his ratzon. It's not just, that was the political climate. It just so happened that the Tsar took over and the Tsar decided it's politically expedient to remove religion. Or they're just looking for your money and they're trying to make themselves rich. That's a natural cause. To know that if we have problems and we're suffering, we have to understand it's Hashem's ratzon. And these people will be revenged against. But if God forbid you think, that's just natural. It's the COVID-19. It just came. It just came from China. And maybe the government's doing a good job, not a good job. How's any revenge? It's only going by nature. Last paragraph. So therefore, that's how you hear the message. But not everybody hears the message of Yom Tov. That's why I felt it's so important to learn this little piece before Yom Tov. Not everybody hears it. There's wild animals trampling upon us, ripping us apart. And who are the wild animals that are ripping us apart? These are the scientists. They show with their intelligence hamutais that is mistaken. It's all by nature. That's all we hear is science, science, science. Now, I'm not blaming them. They're trying to solve a problem. I'm not upset with them. And what else do you expect from the non-Jewish world? And say we have to just defeat this COVID-19. And that can make you, what terrible news. It was COVID-19. It's messed up my Pesach. It's messed up my whole 7 weeks. It's messed up my Shavuos. And you're hearing too much of the scientists. It's as if there's no will of God in the story over here. And even all the miracles that Hashem has done historically for us. And the miracles that what do they say about it? What do they say? But Mr. Scientist, wasn't there a splitting of the sea? Mr. Scientist, wasn't there a sign in Revelation? Mr. Scientist, wasn't there Jews in the desert for 40 years? They all have a natural excuse for it. And these wise people are like wild animals that are trampling on all of us. I don't mean to say that in this case, although in general, science was done, initiate to destroy religion. I'm not saying every scientist now is feeling that way. But people who follow them make mistakes with them. Everything is natural, God forbid. When the scientists take a stronger hold and their opinions are weighed very greatly, as I call Shagosam, the voice of their screams, like the lion screams, it goes up. Their screaming of the science scream drowns out the screaming of the Yom Tov that's calling us. Shekoreyas haratzon, that's calling out God's will. And if that happens, God forbid, that takes away the simcha of Yom Tov. Ki ikar simchas Yom Tov, the main simchas Yom Tov, is to reveal God's will. So that's where we're at. We're looking at a Yom Tov that unfortunately many of us are hearing too many other voices. There's so many voices out there. And everything you're listening to in the news is just telling you you get too involved. Did Ford make the right decisions? Did Trump make the right decisions? To the politicians? And when are they going to let us go? And they're the ones that are holding us back. And why can't the scientists find a better cure? And all these other things. And the only thing that Shavuos is screaming out is that Hashem runs the world. Hashem has given the Jewish people a mandate and a charge. And you hear screaming out when you're going to look at the Torah portion, when you lane, it's the Yom Tov is screaming through the laning that we're the Am Segula, we're the chosen people. We're the light unto the nations. That the Torah is going to give us eternal existence. And doing the will of Hashem, and everything is done by the will of Hashem. And if you realize that the will of Hashem is to be in your home, and that's what Hashem is saying. And don't force it and don't push it. And realize that you can fulfill your mission as the Jewish people in the home. and to look that the physical world is not a contradiction to the spiritual world. And that's why Chazal say there's a Michalowicz. Is Yom Tov all for Hashem or all for your physical needs? And everybody agrees that Shavuos is for your physical needs. And after God gave us the Torah, he says, go into your homes. And you're going to be Jews in your homes. And for 40 years in the desert, there was no Shul. And they just davened in their homes and they learned Torah. So to realize if the Ratzon Hashem is screaming out and you could hear it, then you'll have simcha. Then you'll fulfill the mitzvah. And you won't go off the deep end, as the Sefer Chinuch says. So, but you know, it's got to be quiet to hear it. So Baruch Hashem, for the next 48 hours, no one's going to be on the internet. Nobody's going to hear about politics. No one's going to hear about, can we have careful minyanim? Can we have a minyan, with this and this and that, all these things. That's why I didn't want to send anything else out this afternoon. To know that just for 48 hours, wherever you are, when you were going to be learning your Navi, or you're going to be saying Perek Shira, or whatever, the Yontif is screaming. There's a Hashem in this world who is miraculously taking care of us. And his Ratzon is that we should enjoy the Yontif in our homes. And if we know that we enjoy the Yontif in our homes, we're celebrating the Yontif better than what we thought would have been the better way to celebrate the Yontif. And if Hashem is saying, I want you to serve me in your house, and you had to hear the Kriyas, the Aseret series before Yontif, and you have to say Yisra alone in your house, but Hashem says, I want you to know that I am in charge. And if you really get the message, then there can be no other simcha. And I'll leave you with a very, very, very short story. One of my favorites, it'll be 2 minutes, I promise. There was this fellow, a blind fellow from birth, and he had to eulogize his mother. And his mother was very, devoted to him. And he told a story that when he was a young boy, that he wanted to be able to go to school on his own without his mother walking him to school. So what happened is they did a lot of practices. She says, okay, we'll walk, we'll measure 25 steps this direction, then a left turn. And the practice, and for weeks and weeks and weeks, they're practicing. And the mother says, okay, I'll walk with you and I won't hold your hand every minute. So they practice for weeks. And now comes the day. This is the day. The kid is going to walk to the school blind by himself. And that's going to make him feel like a big man. And I'm cutting the story really down because I know it's close to Shabbos. But the mother says, okay, Chaim, we'll see you later. We'll see you at the end of the day. I know you can do it on your own. And the story, he describes at length, how it was scary. So now he's coming, he's right almost by the school. And outside the school was a non-Jewish, like a security guard would welcome the children. And he says, and he comes, and he's so happy because he hears the voice, oh, Chaim, what a wonderful day, Chaim. So glad to see you. Chaim Levy, so good to see you. He feels like $1 million. And then the security guard says, and it's good to see you too, Mrs. Levy. And then what? And then he hears the whoosh of the bicycle. When a bicycle is going off, it goes whoosh, the wheels of the bicycle. He goes, Ma. And that's what he said. His mother let him go, thinking that he was going on his own, but watching every step. This is a mashal to our lives. We think we're, as Lusato says, we're like blind people walking in the dark. That's Olam Hazeh. We're blind people going, let's not be foolish and think like the little boy thought he was going by himself. But Hashem is guiding everyone and watching every one of our steps. If we know that story and realize we are that blind child trying to get through this world, but Hashem is watching us, all going by his Ratzon, that's how we have simcha. I wish us all, mamish, a chag sameach, mamish, to constantly hear the voice of Hashem. And Amir Hashem, we'll see you 49 hours from now. We'll make Havdalah, we'll make a siyum, and we'll have tremendous simcha. Good Yontif, everybody. I miss you all. Amir Hashem, we'll see you very soon in person. Amen.
Yontif B'Shabbos, everyone. Be well.
Yontif,
Shabbos.
Rabbi.
Shabbos.
Thank you.
Good Yontif. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos and good Yontif.
Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos, good Yontif.
Good Shabbos.
Yontif, good Yontif.
Listening. Have a good Yontif. Enjoy the chocolates. Enjoy the books.
Cheesecake. Yeah, chocolate.
Yeah, Kathy, you saved some? You didn't eat them all?
No,
Save them.
I found them.
You finally, okay,
My
Baruch Hashem.
kids found